What's up everyone, Stumblzz here, and we are back with Farming Simulator 25. And I gotta tell you, I love this game so much. I just want to play it all the time, in all honesty. While we were gone, I went ahead and advanced some time. I did some contracts, because if I didn't do any contracts, we wouldn't have made it anywhere. And I did a lot of contracts. Did it kind of when I was on vacation, and I was just kind of cruised around on my laptop and knocked them out. Our grass is growing. We just cut that. We need to sell off some eggs or start stacking them and selling them or storing them somewhere else because we're about to max out on that. We do have, from a chicken's perspective, we have 301 chickens now. We're almost at max capacity there. Our greenhouse here is doing okay on water. We're still selling those straight out. And we'll see about being able to, start storing these a little differently. This is the rice saplings that I thought might be a great idea. It's not a great idea. It's an absolutely stupid idea. It did not work as planned. What I'm thinking we're going to do is we're going to sell it. So we're going to do that right now, actually. We're going to go to construction, and we're going to sell off our rice sapling here. We only get half the money back, unfortunately. But the advantage here is that because of all those contracts, we can now buy this farmland right here. It's going to make us broke, but such is life. That's kind of how we've been thriving here, is in a state of being broke. I haven't figured out how to sell this darn thing yet. I would like to be able to get some of the money out of that. But we're not there. And this is sugar beets, and they're still growing. I don't know if we should actually even care about those. So if we look at our contracts here, not our contracts, we look at prices, get my life together here, and we look at prices for sugar beets. So sugar beets aren't super great. The max price that they sell at is $194. These are going to likely be pickable in October. So we'll be able to harvest them in October. Maybe. That depends on when they're planted. So they'll either be harvestable in October or November. But in order for us to be able to actually harvest them, we would need to be able to pull them out of the ground. And that isn't as straightforward, because a beet harvester, like these that you see here, leasing that is going to be so freaking expensive. And I don't know that I want to do that. So yeah, because we would need both of these. We would need this defoliator. We would also need this harvest scrub. The harvest scrub is what pulls them out. This is going to be what chops off the top, I believe. And yeah, that's not going to work for me. I kind of just want to, kill all of this and plant some more grass. And I think that's probably what we're going to do. But I don't even know that we have enough money to get to that point. Let's take a look at our lettuce. So we're growing lettuce right now. I'm thinking about switching over to tomatoes or buying another greenhouse and going with tomatoes, because the advantage there is that tomatoes actually produce a little bit faster. They use less water, I believe. So we could actually make some decent money off of those. But right now it's looking like we're kind of in a pickle here. Now what we could do is we could actually do some mowing contracts. And we could actually mow. This one here has a decent lease cost. If we do both of these contracts, it's like $6,000. We lease this one and only lease this one. We use the equipment from that guy to do the other one, which I think is a thing that you can do. They're near each other. It's 11 and 12. So I think in order for us to get some money, we're going to borrow the items on this one. we're going to go to our other mowing contract here, and we're going to just accept this contract. And then we're going to kind of cheat the system here. And we're going to back this bad boy up, this MacDon M1240. This thing is a beast. I think they released this in 2022 as an add-on. I never used it that much. I used the baling portion of the MacDon, which was pretty cool. But we're going to try and knock out both of these super quick and get ourselves some more money, so that way we can lease a... We'll need a plow or a power harrow is what someone recommended to me on my TikTok. If you haven't checked out the TikTok, make sure you go check that out. I don't post on there as much as I need to, but it is essentially just the shorts, the clips of what I do here. So the highlights, if you will. Oh, woohoo! Going off-roading in our MacDon. Yeah, check out the TikTok. I'm gonna continue to try and optimize and be better about that, but for now, this is where I'm at. So let's do this. We need to verify something. So the property that we're leasing equipment from is this one, is number 12. We're going to start on number 11 because we didn't lease equipment from him. So I want to make sure that we can do this one. So we're going to line this bad boy up, and we are going to turn on our GPS. Yep, that looks pretty good to me. Should we do more than one headland? I feel like we should do 2 headlands. Let's do 2 headlands. And then the working direction, I don't really like the working direction there. Rotate this a bit. Let's go like so. Go full vertical. I like that better. We'll go working direction of 0 degrees. And let's hit OK. We've got our line here marked out. So for those of you that are playing the game and you don't know, GPS assist is not you follow this line. You have to activate the line. So I'm using an Xbox controller, so that's B, and then it'll turn green. I've seen a few videos where people are using the GPS and they're just kind of following the line. Don't do that to yourself. Activate the line so that you can actually use the GPS. So here we go. We're gonna mow this grass here, and this thing cooks like 15 miles per hour. We should be able to make some money super quick by doing this. And this field is nice and curved. It's curved just enough to where the GPS can hang on the line, but it's gonna stop up here. I don't know if it'll hang for all of the turns, but we're gonna give it a go. So we'll go all the way up to the edge here, lift up our mower. I don't know why I'm bothering lifting up our mower. It's not our property, but whatever. I'll be a decent person for now, and then I'm gonna not be. Activate our line, and off we go again. And I think this is not gonna turn as far as the GPS is concerned. Yep, it's not. And this, I'm already abandoning this whole, you know, lift the mower thing. I'm gonna go this way, because when you're doing contracts, it doesn't let you cut grass that isn't yours anyways, so it is what it is. Although it's letting us cut the edge there, which is interesting. Yeah, this thing really moves. And I like that it goes around the edge here. Like, I don't have to control that. It just sticks to the edge. That's so freaking awesome. This thing is a monster in the best way possible. And that pivot that those back wheels do is just amazing. And the inside of this thing, super cool. And it's just cooking. Ah, love it. All right, we're near the edge on this side. Backing her on up. I noticed you have to kind of be at a stop in order for it to go, so that's something you'll want to keep in mind. I tend to like back up and try and activate it as I'm driving, which doesn't always work out in my favor. All right, so I'll see you guys on the other side of this mowing adventure. Enjoy the time lapse.
I've been riding this tractor since the crack of dawn. Leasing gear I can't afford, just trying to move on. The grass keeps rising, but my wallet stays thin. Every pass I'm dreaming about the milk money coming in. With a mower so mean, it cuts like a knife. Out here working these fields, just living that life. And yeah, the road's bumpy, but I'm sticking my ground. Turning all this hard work into silage by the pound. Mowing ain't easy, but man, it feels right. Underneath these stars on a summer night, with a beat-up machine and dirt on my boots, I'm cutting through the grass, singing these field hand blues. This Macon's got moves like it's dancing for me, swerving in a pivot and smooth as can be. I've been mowing for hours, GPS locked tight, but this field's so dang big, it's gonna take all night. The sugar beets can wait, they're too rich for my blood. I'm a grass-growing farmer, bringing silage in floods. If the bank stays patient, I might make it through, turning dirt into dreams, one row into two. Mowing ain't easy, but man, it feels right. Underneath these stars on a summer night, machine and dirt.
All right, we are finishing up this field, and sure enough, it is done. And now we're gonna head over here to field number 12 to be able to mow this one with the same leased equipment. So that's pretty freaking awesome. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the same setup going for this. And we'll drive up onto this field. I don't know. I do want to see the lines at first because I can't tell what I'm doing. So we're going to start here on this line. I think this is the line I want to start on. So we'll start on this line right here. If it'll highlight. There we go. And we'll put that down and off we go. Oh, I did not activate, so I broke my own rule. You got to activate that line. So that field actually took us quite some time. I know I time-lapsed it for y'all. That went not as fast as I was hoping it would. So that took a bit of time. Not a big deal. But just even mowing with a fast mower like this Macdon here is not always going to be as quick as you think it is. That field was bigger than I expected it to be. So there is that. This field's quite a bit smaller, or at least it seems quite a bit smaller. So we should be able to knock this one out in relatively faster fashion. So we'll get this knocked out, and then we'll be able to go and start tackling our own stuff, which is really the end goal here, is to work on our own empire versus someone else's empire. And right now we're working on someone else's empire, and I don't want to be doing that. I don't like that the contracts kind of force you to quit so early. There's a huge patch of grass over there that we ended up not completing, all because that's kind of how the contract said, hey, you're done. So we were just kind of done, and that was that. Nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. It is what it is. So we're gonna knock out this one here, and we'll try and stay on this darn GPS line, but it's kind of funky on this field, and it breaks in certain spots that make you have to drive it manually, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I don't mind driving the tractor manually. This Macdon actually controls pretty well. It's kind of like a harvester. It's not super sensitive in the sense that Like if you make a slight tweak, it's gonna stay straight pretty well. Whereas in like some of your tractors and such, if you're mowing or whatever, a slight change in the direction is going to put you off course, whereas as this stays pretty straight on, which is beneficial for something like this where you're mowing without a tractor, you're using the Macdon instead. So it's a little perk of this Macdon here. And I like the Macdon. It's a nice little tractor. It might be something that we have to get here in the near future because it'll save us on mowing like crazy. The downside is that you can't attach anything to the back of it, so it literally would operate as a mower only. We could use it potentially for baling, but then we would have to wrap separately, and I don't know that I want to wrap separately, at least not at this stage. Wrapping separately would be more cost, right? We would have to buy more equipment, and I don't think that's the path we want to go right now, because we're already struggling with money as it is. But I think just knocking out these couple contracts, now that we have a second field, which is a great win, we'll be able to start growing more silage, grass. We'll be able to grow more grass to create more silage, and then I think from there, I haven't fully thought this out yet, but I'm thinking I would want to potentially go into dairy cows. If we go into dairy cows, we already have the pen. If we go into dairy cows and we buy the small calves, start them young, get a man and a woman, and then we get a couple babies going, so on and so forth, and we're producing milk, we can then make money from milk. So that is an avenue that we can go. One option I've considered is trying to save up money for a plot of land that doesn't have farming on it. It's no farmland, it's more just trees. We could chop down the trees with a chainsaw. The downside is to get them somewhere, we would still need the equipment to transport them. The idea behind doing the logs and doing trees would be we could do other production facilities like furniture, things of that nature, but I think you have to cut them more precisely. So I don't know. We could get into sheep, which would make us cotton, and then we could spin that into clothes. There's a lot of different options that we can go down. I'm just not 100% sure on which path to go. If y'all have recommendations, please shoot them my way. I'm open to some ideas. Once we really start acquiring land, we'll be able to grow some different crops, and we'll be able to have like faster production on things. We'll be able to stay busy all the time. We're almost done with this, and once we close out these contracts, we will be able to lease the equipment we need so that we can take care of our field, plant some grass, fertilize it, and then go from there. We'll take a look at the discount store, see if there's any used items on sale that we can purchase. Highly doubt it, considering we will not have that kind of cash. We will have a very minimal amount of cash, so purchasing items like outright, I don't think is going to be a thing, in all honesty. But we'll get there, right? Once we have this money, and honestly, we could probably lease everything that we have right now, but I don't want us to be so strapped for cash that we can't do anything. Like, that would be a bad situation to be in for us. All right, we are at 80% on our second field here. So if you guys haven't caught on yet, if you find a contract that is of similar equipment requirements, use the equipment that you want, the preferred equipment, and only lease that equipment. Don't do that contract first, because I don't know if you get to keep the equipment at that point. Do the other contracts, and you're using one leased equipment for multiple contracts, and you save yourself some money on borrowing the equipment, and then you can bring in some more dough. That's what I did for this one. I wasn't even 100% sure that worked, but it worked out for us pretty well, I think. So, pro tip, I'm calling it a pro tip because, I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, right? We didn't have to lease equipment times 2. We leased one set of equipment, the cheapest set, by the way, and we were able to knock out 2 contracts. And we haven't gotten paid on them yet, so that money that we have there is going to bump up here a bit. Now, one thing I have thought about doing, depending on how much money we have left over after we mow this and we take care of our second field, which we're going to uproot those sugar beets, we are going to potentially buy another large greenhouse for lettuce. Lettuce is where it's at. I mean, it really is. And for the sake of realism, I'm going to suck it up and deal with the pallets. I would like to get a forklift instead of having to use our tractor for that, but we'll see how that kind of plays out. We'll have to use the tractor for now. We'll have to be budget conscious because we are a farmer on a budget. We don't have a ton of cash. All right, we're at 98%. We're not going GPS route here anymore. So we're actually gonna just turn off these lines real quick, and we're just gonna mow until it tells us to stop. Boom, contract finished. And let's go into our contracts here. Let's collect and collect. Boom shakalaka. We have our money. All right, we have 12 grand. Start up our steer tractor here. And I think it's called steer. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please let me know. I've been pronouncing my favorite tractor brand Class. It's actually Kloss, I believe. I might still be butchering it, but that's my favorite tractor within the game. I don't have a reason. I like the way it looks. I like the way they run. I like the way they sound, yada, yada, yada. No other valid reason. So Kloss, I think is how you say it. And then I would like to buy one of them soon in our series here. It's not a priority right now. And there's no large ones in the game at the moment. There's only the medium size. Either way, I might be butchering the name still. So if I'm butchering the name Steer, or however you pronounce that, please let me know so I can stop butchering it. Oh, I took that way sharper than I expected to. So let's move on over here. All right, so on my TikTok, there was a gentleman who recommended me using power harrowing for seeding and dealing with the land. I've never power harrowed. I've seen it. Obviously, I played FS22. So we're going to look at power harrowing. And these, I don't know where the power harrowers are. These are planters, soil cultivation, power harrows. From what I interpreted, he said you could power harrow and seed at the same time. I don't know if that's true. A cultivator prepares fields for the next sowing. Wheel waits on the... See, this is just a cultivator. I don't think I can use this for this. But I can use a subsoiler for getting this field set up the way that we need to. So we can lease this subsoiler for $10,000. It's small, which is fine. We don't need a big one at the moment. So we're going to lease this. We can lease. So leasing the 4 meter is $612. Leasing the 3 meter is $510. Let's be smart here. Let's be smart. We're going to lease the $510 one. Once we subsoil, we're going to need to plant. So we're going to need a seeder to do our business. And last time I released this seeder, things went a little haywire, but you know, is what it is. I want to do a weeder at the same time because I don't want any weeds. So we're going to add that on there. Seeds, 900 liters. Let's go with the big edition. I don't know that we'll need it, but we're going to do it anyways. I don't know what those mean. We're going to say that. We're going to lease. Whew, that was a hefty chunk of change. We're going to need seeds for that, obviously. Let's go with a pallet, and because we're going to go with the pallet in case we need to actually take it back. Even though we don't have anything to put it on, we're going to say this seeds, and we're going to use the liftable just in case. This is 1,050. Let's just stick with 1,050 for seeds right now. Or as far as liters is concerned, I should say. All right. So first things first, we need to hook up our power harrow. Or I mean, I'm so hooked on this power harrow idea that we're going to subsoil. So we got that on there. It is tiny. We're going to head back to the farm and we're going to subsoil our new field. All right, we are back at our farm. We have these sugar beets that we're going to totally destroy because I don't want to do sugar beet. If you haven't done sugar beet before, it's kind of a pain in the rear end. It's a root crop. I get it. We should probably just keep it, but the equipment to be able to get it out is going to kill us financially. Maybe one day in the future we'll do some sugar beets just to say that we did it. But for now, we are not going to do sugar beets. So the subsoiler can be used instead of a plow. So fun fact for y'all, if you don't want to use a plow because they are a pain in the rear end, use a subsoiler. The subsoiler will do the same thing as a plow, but it will be less painful. Trying to manipulate how the plow folds and all of that nonsense is just something I don't recommend for really anyone. I really wish they would come up with a way to do the subsoiler or the GPS. Like once you activate the line, I want it to go away. I'm hoping that they do that. I hope that's a feature enhancement coming in the near future. If not, Giant Software, if you're listening, please make that an update. Activate the line, line goes away, and then you have to reactivate it, so on and so forth. It's just not an appealing look, and I don't think there's any reason for it to stay on once you've actually activated the line, in my personal opinion. The downside to being broke is we can't afford the best of the best. So this 3-meter little subsoiler is all we're working with here, and it kind of limits the speed at which we can do anything. Now subsoiling, I don't know if it works the same as a plow. When you do a plow, you don't have to worry about weeds because the plow removes that as an issue when you go to do it. So I'm curious, and I don't know if this is a thing, let me know if it is, does subsoiling also remove the weeds as an issue? That's a question I don't know the answer to. We're gonna find out. I added the weeder to our seeder. The weeder to our seeder. I added the weeder to our seeder in the effort to prevent weeds, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to spray. We don't have to do any of that nonsense. We're just gonna be able to grow our stuff and worry about fertilizing and such. Now, one thing we will have to do is fertilize this. We do have to do that this time for the first cycle of grass, because if you don't, then it's not going to be at 100%. I don't think that was the case on Farming Simulator 22. You didn't have to do the actual fertilizing of grass in its first stage, but I don't remember, in all honesty. And I had a pretty massive grass operation going because I did a lot of feeding of cows. I made a lot of silage, or I mean a lot of TMR. There was a mod that I downloaded. You just dump all the ingredients in there and it makes it for you, and then you just pull your trailer up and you load your your trailer full of TMR. I don't know if they've made one of those yet. The modding community has made that yet. If they have, that's something I highly recommend because it's a lifesaver when it comes to making TMR for your cows. So I'm thinking a tornado or something hit this field here because I don't know what happened, but that field is all messed up right there. And I don't remember ever seeing a tornado. I know they're in the game, and I've seen people playing the game that have experienced them, but I have yet to see any tornadoes in this darn thing. We're going to turn off show lines now because I think we've completed our header. So we're going to hit such and no more ugly lines. I mean, the graphics, I'm still just in awe at the graphics on this game. The dirt that acquires on the vehicles now, like, this whole darn thing is just so good. Look at the dirt just coming up here. It is a beaut. I tell you what.
I'm living for this life, singing my field hand truths. So here's to the grinders, the dreamers, the crew. If you're pushing through the dirt, this one's for you. Mowing ain't easy, but it's what I love. Underneath this big old sky, God's grace from above.
All right, an eternity later, we are now on our last line of our subsoiling, and then we will be able to plant our grass. Spoiler, in case you didn't figure it out by watching the little time lapse there, or looking at the field earlier, I turned off field stone. I hate it. It's a pain to deal with. Maybe we'll turn it back on once we get to a state where we can actually, you know, handle it better. But for now, we're just going to keep it off. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and return our subsoiler, because we no longer need that. Return that. Good. And then let's go pick up our seeder with the seeds. Now, we probably should not have rented the seeder right away, because that actually costs us money for it to just sit there. And this took us a while to be able to get to the point that we're able to actually start planting our grass. But is what it is. We're going to pick it up and we're going to start seeding our grass. All right, while we're at the store, I decided that we were going to go ahead and get a front weight because the seeder tends to be heavy and I have a hunch we're going to need it. So we got a front weight, and I just bought it because leasing a front weight, I don't even know if you can lease the front weight, but also doesn't seem like a wise choice. So let's load up our seeds. And then we need to make sure we select the proper seed. Seed, we want grass. I just passed it. Boom. And now we can head to our farm and we're going to go ahead and plant this grass. All right, so let's stop our AI worker here. I accidentally hired an AI worker there. Let's go ahead and do an AI worker. The number of headlands it wants to do is 5, which is kind of crazy. Okay, but whatever. We're gonna hire the AI worker for that, and we're gonna let them do their thing. I don't know where they're going. I guess they're gonna start with the up down. Looks that way. All right, I'm out of the way. I'm out of the way. Calm down. Calm down. So yield bonus is already 80%. So we'll have to do a little fertilizing. Well, it's actually already fertilized 100%. So there's that. I think I've already rolled this. It doesn't say it's growing though. So I might have to roll this actually. Son of a gun. We're gonna have to figure that part out. One thing I noticed is I can lift these pallets. It comes with the liftable pallet mod. We're going to go sell a little thing of this here real quick. Just running on over here to our little farm stand. This is an easy way to do this. And that got us $1,200. Dang, really? Let's go into our pricing here. So eggs is not, this is not the ideal time to do it. But we have to have more than $3,800 worth of eggs over there. That's not mathing to me. Anywho, so there is that ability for us to be able to lift up the egg pallets. So that's a perk. This guy here, he's going to work on seeding our grass. Now, I am a little concerned that this says it's growing. This one says it is not, which means I thought I rolled it, but it's not giving me the impression that it is rolled. So we're going to have to do that, I think. And what I want to do, though, I'm actually going to do this, is we're going to sell enough of our eggs to be able to buy ourselves another greenhouse. Oh, calm down. And let's throw that in there. That gives us $9,600. We're going to need to sell one more because we have an AI worker going right now. And that AI worker is going to cost us some money. Pick this up. Let's go. Come on. Let's do it. Pick it up. Pick it up. Okay, I guess can't pick it up? What is going on here? Why can't I not pick these two up? All right. Well, I'll pick up this one then. Fine. Be difficult. So we'll sell this one. It's not going to give us as much money, but it should cover a cost of our AI worker. And now that we have that, let's head on over here. We're just kind of running around everywhere. He's doing his thing. He's going pretty quick too, which is great. Let's go into our construction greenhouses. So from a greenhouse perspective, we need I guess we can only get a small tarp greenhouse. Really? Small mushroom greenhouse, large glass greenhouse. I totally thought we could get the big one, but I guess that is not the case. So we're gonna get a small one, which is fine. We'll get this small one here and we'll place it just like so. And we're gonna grow some tomatoes, I think. We're gonna try tomatoes because they grow more and I think it might be a good idea. I need to be able to actually, let's see, small greenhouse, and let's activate these and let's change the output mode to selling for now. Although now that I can pick them up and place them, really don't want to use too many mods though. Let's store them for now. They look rather rough because they need some water, which is fine, because what we'll do is we'll be able to give them some water here in a moment when our buddy is done planting this grass. And he's making some good progress. He's almost got the middle portions done and he'll be working on the headlands. I love our dirty tractor. Oh, I didn't realize you could see the boot prints in here. That's super cool. That is just, this game just continues to amaze me. I love this game so much. All right, so as you can see, we got ourselves another greenhouse. We got a small greenhouse. I thought we were gonna get a bigger one, but I guess I didn't remember that, you know, the $9,000 greenhouse is a small one. We're gonna grow tomatoes in that one, primarily because it uses less water and because it does technically produce more frequently than lettuce. We might have to switch it to lettuce because lettuce sells at an amazing price. We'll see how that plays out. But I want to diversify what we're doing. And I think with tomatoes, we can do something else, like a production chain of some sort. So we're going to stick with that for now. We're planting our grass. I'm going to make sure that that field is rolled, so that way it's growing in a growing state. We only have a few hours left in the day to do that, but we're going to get it done. Next time, we're going to be raking in the money. We should be able to mow both of our fields, have a lot of grass being produced into silage, and we're going to start turning a corner. We're going to start making a lot of money. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you guys join in for the next episode, and thank you for joining this one. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.